Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Splunk data manipulation, and let me start the attack box, and let's start so when we talk about data processing and parsing and manipulation, again Splunk is crucial in extracting meaningful insight and correctly parse data allows Splunk to extract fields. Yeah, we've talked about this also before. Parsing means basically just it will break down the data into fields, okay, and values, making them searchable, structured, ready to analysis or security perspective. So that's what we will learn today, and let me also, in this scenario, you will play the role of a SOC analyst at a MSCP center. One of our client requires ingesting event data into Splunk. We'll configure to parse and transform the logs appropriately. This scenario will address the following issues: event breaking, configure Splunk to correctly identify or separate individual events during ingestion. Configure Splunk to events during ingestion, and multi-line event parsing. Configure Splunk to properly handle logs that span multiple lines. Sensitive data masking, mask sensitive information to log data that complies. Field extraction, extract relevant client event. So that's the idea. Click to start machine option to begin the access the lab. Let me start here. So this will take time, but once we start, we need to go to the default directory, which is opt, and you will be working with script located at this one directory. Switch over to the root. Once you have access, Splunk stops responding at any point, you can restart it. Okay, so the full path of Splunk directory, I think I can answer this even without it's just this one, right? Opt and Splunk. The directory for Splunk, and how many executable are available in scripts. This we have to wait for it, the attack box and the machine to start, then we'll be able to answer it. But let's continue. Before Splunk can be used to search or visualize or alert your data, it must first ingest correctly and interpret it. Data parsing is what transforms raw data into structured searchable events. Splunk identifies timestamps, break events, part, assign source type, extract type fields. Controlled through Splunk configuration. Determine your front. Splunk supports a wide range of common formats, include CSV, JSON, and RAW. Structure your data, help you choose, create source type, ensure Splunk applies correct parsing rules. So let's go ahead and since it's open now, let's go ahead and navigate to this path. We can go to this path. No, go to this path. Okay, and CD, and go to here. Just paste this one. Just ls. I think we have 3, right? Executable, we have scripts directory, we have okay, let me try ls. Yeah, this is all actually. Yeah, I think it's 3. The answer here is 3. Yeah. So since we have 3 right here, 1, 2, 3, authentication logs, purchase details. So identifying the source type. The source type in Splunk is one of the most important settings, and it represents the type of data, how to manage timestamps, line break, fields. Splunk comes with many built-in source types in Poplar. You can also define custom source types. So let me try to access this the IP here. not the IP of the. Let me try to access it. If we are going to get that here, and yeah, and setting up input, the inputs.config file instructs Splunk on what data to ingest, where it originates, how to collect it, and what basic metadata to assign, such as source type, host, source. Worth noting that apps created in Splunk will also have their own configuration. Let me just paste this one and go. Let me add let me just add here http. No, so I don't think it's the URL, but anyways, yeah, the input.config file instructs Splunk on what data to ingest, where it originates, how to collect it, and what basic metadata to assign, such as source type, host, and source. Check out the following file locations provided. It's worth noting that the app created Splunk will have their own configuration. So let's try to go to this path and see. And we went here, the Splunk default. And let me go to ls. Let me type here ls, and we have inputs.config here, which is copy cut. Let me just go ahead and see what it is actually. Yeah. Okay, this is a Splunk default configuration location. However, these files are not intended to be edited for editing and will be overwritten when updates are made. And this location contains concentrated priority over the create edit files. Okay, so basically we can edit this path. Files that are located here. So let me go ahead and go there and see what exactly it is. Let me try to see. We have server.config and migration.config. In this example, we instruct Splunk to monitor a specific log file and specifying both index and source type. Okay, configuring processing property. The props.config file defines data parsing settings for specific source type and data source within Splunk. The following example, we reference the source type defined in input, tells Splunk to treat every line new event defined by term format. Defining field extraction, we can define custom field extraction in props.config. Okay, I think this is props.config is actually located here on the defaults configuration. Opt Splunk etc system defaults. Then we have props.config here. We can define the custom field extraction if we need. And using Splunk UI, although this room focuses on creating and editing Splunk configuration file from the command line, Splunk also provides user-friendly web interface for managing many of the same settings from the UI. You can define source type, create field extraction, manage lookups, configure additional parsing without manually editing the configuration file. So we can also do all this stuff on the UI, on Splunk UI. Which configuration file would you edit to instruct Splunk what data to ingest? What data to ingest? I think inputs dot conf. Yeah, this is what we will edit. Instruct Splunk what data to ingest. So yeah, what's the full path of Splunk default configuration? This one we already went through it here. It's actually opt Splunk. It's opt Splunk etc system default. Yeah. So exploring configuration files, as discussed previously, Splunk relies series of configuration files to control how data is collected, parsed, transformed, and etc. This files is important for customizing data, troubleshooting, parsing issues. We discussed in input.config defines what data to ingest, defines how to interpret it. So let's examine some of the more standard configuration in their use. As they are overwritten in this room, make changes on the local directory. So configuration files, we have transforms.config. The purpose allows you to define data transformation, enrichment, or indexed event. Perhaps you want to create username field from the following log line. You could specify a custom field extraction regular. New field will be there. Fields.config defines how custom extracted fields behave in Splunk. Entry by specifying how to handle the new username field. Manages configuration indexes in Splunk, include storage retention policy. Specific settings. Okay, you can add indexes here and give it the settings. And outputs, specify the destination settings for sending index data to various outputs such as remote third-party solutions. Stanzas in Splunk configuration, organize stanza, which defines how Splunk handles. So, which Splunk configuration file is used to define output destination for index data? Index, actually. Index. For index data. It's this one. It's just a spelling mistake. No, let me try it. For index data, output for the indexed data. Okay, outputs.config, right? Yeah, I think it's outputs.config. Take a look at transform entry below. What line would you add in the fields.config to begin defining custom fields? In transforms I think source IP, no? Okay, this one indexed equals to true, because he's saying in the fields config. No. You're supposed to add actually this one. The source IP. You're supposed to add this one, like this. Like for example, here we added username reference to this transform field. Okay, in the transform field. So I'm supposed to add source IP, but let's put it in here. Source IP, and we put bracket. Yeah, this is what it means. So creating a Splunk app. Splunk comes with the variety of default application with search and reporting. There's a additional This can extend Splunk capability with new dashboards and data. Splunk base available online. Before we begin building our application, we must get Splunk running. Head up to this and start. Yeah, okay, let's go to this one, to this path, cd, and just let's go ahead and run it. Splunk start, and have the URL, and we'll be able to access it using the URL, which is this in our case, creating your application. Let's go ahead and try to open the Splunk. Or let's see the URL that we got. We will get a URL here. No, it's not even running. I think the reason it's not running is because I'm not in the root. I'm not running it as root. But now I can, I think. .splunk start. Now it's going to work. Yeah. So we got the URL. Now let's try to refresh. This is going to work. Or you can use just the localhost IP 127.0.0.1. Oh, come on, 1 second. It's this one actually. 1 second, let me just. One two 7.0.0.1 8000. Yeah, so now I think it's going to work. Okay, click manage apps, Cogwheel. The page shows default installed app. Browse more app. Let's see the. Okay, we will go to the apps here, which we are. Okay, these are the apps actually. No. Actually, we were on the right page. 1 second. We'll go to the manage apps. Yeah, and then this page will show the default installed apps. These are the default installed apps. You can go ahead and browse more apps here, or install app from file, and you want to click create app to get started. Let me go ahead and click create app here. Next, we'll need to fill all the details about the app you want to create. Feel free to follow the naming, like data app here. Let me go ahead and reduce this one. Save apps and the new application launch. You can name it here and click launch app. Get familiar with the app directory. Back in the command line, go ahead and go to this one. Okay, yeah, we can just create here and launch app. Save. It's going to work, but we can also do it from the this directory. Let's see. and you should see the following. Let's now get a closer look of the created directory and contain bin basically contains custom scripts or executable used by the app. Default stores the app default configuration, we know about this. Local stores modified configuration. Metadata contains information of metadata. Yeah. Generating logs. With Python, we now have we know that the bin directory contains script any of that app, right? We will use, let's create a bin directory, echo this one. Python creating input for Splunk to ingest logs in our script. It needs to know the location of the script. Must create input.config newly created. This is the favorite entry above. We have our script set up to input.config. We can have that up. So when Splunk first installs, how many default applications are available? To check this, I think you can find out this answer to this just by going to the app and counting just minimize this one. No, where is the apps? Managed app. Manage apps here. By default, I think it's 25 items. Saying here 25 by default. Now what's the fullest path of your newly created application directory? It must be path for the newly created application directory. Must be this one actually. Or this one, yeah. This. Done. Let's just move on here. Again, this is actually 90 minutes advance. I think this is the last lab we have to do, and there is one more, but I don't think this is actually going to take that much. It's Splunk, but I will try to solve this stuff. It's just yeah, we will try to go through it if we have time, but mostly once we finish this lab, we're going to move to the to other topics in SOC level 1 and level 2, because actually the goal of this course is just to introduce you with the basics, okay? But since Splunk is the most used SIEM management system, so I decided to go through with it so we can learn deeply. Okay, then we will move to the other topics in SOC. So in this task you will use Splunk configuration file to teach Splunk how to and when to break event parts apart. Event breaking refers to the process of splitting raw data into individual events based on defined boundaries, and where one event ends and the next begin. You'll understand through. Let me just summarize this. There is a better way to just instead of going through it one by one, we can just go ahead and copy this one, and you'll get the summary here. big event, okay, that it breaks searching and alerting. That's the idea. You see, when we first ingest a VPN logs, okay, Splunk doesn't know where one event ends and where the other one starts, basically. So it combines everything. It groups multiple lines into one big event that breaks searching, alerting, and dashboard. Why this happens? By default, Splunk tries to merge lines together. That's the problem. Guess event boundaries, usually based on timestamps. Okay, that's what it does. Okay, if your log has no timestamp or are simple single line events, Splunk gets confused. The fix is that you explicitly tell Splunk each line is one event, and it ends when you see connect or disconnect. That's the purpose of this one. Connect, disconnect. Okay. Step 1, input.config data. You already did this. It just says run script every 5 seconds. Okay. And send output to Splunk. Problem at this stage, Splunk sees line 1, line 2, thinks one event, all 10 lines. Okay, so step 2 is props.config. This is event breaking. This is where the real magic happens. So okay, this is where you define props. You define the rules. We're saying must break after connect and disconnect. Okay, putting should line merge false. Don't combine lines. Basically, it means don't combine lines. This alone fixes simple log. It must break after connect, disconnect. Splunk scans text. Every time it sees connect or disconnect, it says end the event here. Okay, before like this, after will be like this. Why the regex works? Pattern connect, disconnect, match entire or either words. This always appear at the end of each line. So that's it. Actually, we can go ahead and solve the lab, because this simplifies which configuration file is used to specify parsing rules. We have two, right? Props and no, but props we only define the where it will break, but we do it in the but in inputs.config we define the data ingestion. No, but what I think is props actually, because the rules we are actually defining it on the props, right? Props.config. What regex pattern is used in the case above the break to break the events? Connect, disconnect actually is used. This is the pattern, I think. Which regex pattern is used to break the event? No, he said regex. Let's try this one. Yeah, connect, disconnect, parsing multiple line events. Let me just go ahead and do this again. Copy this one and just paste it here. The problem here is that like this, the one logical event but spans multiple lines. Splunk splits it into two events. So this is the issue of this one, right? Multiple line events. So this is a single event, but it spans multiple lines. Okay. So Splunk splits it into two events. Why Splunk breaks it wrong? Splunk assumes each new line equals to new event, unless told otherwise. So it does this one. The fix is keep merging lines until the new event starts. Okay. So no change in the logic here, just ingestion, nothing special here in input.config. But props.config, this is key, we have to mention here break only before authentication. You mention here should line merge true. Should line merge true combines multiple lines into one event. This is required because the log spans multiple events. This defines where new event starts. Authentication is basically what defines when the new event starts. Every time Splunk sees authentication, it starts a new event. Important. Must escape this one. Yeah, before, after. Okay, mental module, false. This is just a pattern. Okay, so common mistakes to avoid. The correct is you have to add the slash here, so that's it. Which configuration settings was used to ensure Splunk breaks the event boundary before the specified regex? I think this one, because they didn't ask for the pattern, the regex pattern, they asked for the settings. Remember, if they ask for the pattern, regex pattern, which they are asking now, we can just use this one, the regex pattern authentication. Yeah, so the next one is making sensitive data such as credit card is crucial. Now let me just copy this one because it will save us much time. It will summarize us. ChatGPT will summarize this for us. Okay, and give us the key point. Problem very example. Your logs, user logs made a purchase. With a credit card, this one. If you leave it like this, violates PCI-DD, could violate HIPAA anywhere Splunk access sees this one. Okay, event breaking, quick recap. You used must break after /d, this one, should line to event end with 1, 2, 3, 4, last 4 digits, plus period. Good. Events are clean. Even with the correct event, the full credit card is visible. That's the issue. So we want to hide it basically. Event breaking. Okay, and masking with SED CMD. This is a key addition. So we are going to, this is the last 12 digits of the card replacement. So this will be replaced with an X basically. You're replacing it with an X or something else. G, replace all the events basically. Now after complaints, user made a purchase with this one. We're replacing the credit card. This happens at index time. Data is masked before being stored. No one can retrieve the original from card environments or is masked. Okay, that's the idea of SED masking. Okay, so yeah, which payment security standard did you adhere by masking the customer credit card information? PCI, I think. PCI, it's this one. I think this is responsible for PCI DC DSS for what is the full value of SED CMD you used in props.config. For this, this must be the value. Yeah, we use this one for this actually, because we're saying show the first 4 and then put this one, right? Well, extract custom feed. Let me go ahead and do this. So now what we will do is actually extracting custom fields. Now you're moving to the most valuable Splunk skill, turning raw logs into searchable intelligence inside Splunk. Broke events correctly, extracted field using redirects, made them searchable at index time. Transform.config adds this one. Understanding this user extraction matches first name, basically, and last name. Credit card extraction matches both must and must. Smart. Update your existing stanza. Restart Splunk. Same user using multiple card, same card used by multiple users. Suspicious behavior. That's what we're checking basically. We're checking different users. Okay, after performing field extraction on purchase log, how many user field value exists within the event data? And how many unique must CC number fields were extracted from the event? Okay, since we have already opened this one, let's try to go ahead and do this here. Let me just copy this one, paste it here. Choose all time. No one is actually index main source type. Index, let's just put index equals to vpn.logs and see what happens. Nothing. Captures all three fields to organize the group. Transformation and updates the processing powers. And, okay, basically this is we can get back to it later on. This extracting custom field is just it's not working here. We'll get back to it. We can see we finished this one, and let's see what is this actually. Let's fix it. This is a challenge that I don't think we should go through this one, because this is actually not that much complicated.